While in quarantine for 7 days approximately, I had a chance to think about what I needed to do once I got to the farm. And the biggest thing that was in my mind was 4 projects that I wanted to complete. And the very first one was shoring up the fence from thieves and also putting in a well so that we can get water for the other projects that we needed to do cement, rebar work, or even just drinking water and for watering the plants. So those are the things I had in my mind. Now Ethan came by and had recommended that I use a guy that he knew. So I met with him, and even though he was very pricey, again, foreigner price, I decided to give him the job of digging a well using a boring type method, because I wanted to also help Ethan get a percentage of the work because I knew he wasn't working.
Ba, magkano po yung mineral?
10 sir.
Hindi po ako ng dalawa. Ating goto. Siopaw. June the matinee idol. Ano yan, June? Pepper?
Ano po yan? Chili powder.
Chili powder. Sarap. So, there's my lunch. Breakfast and lunch.
Diet.
Diet. We are now gonna put the deep well in. Gonna start drilling today. So I contracted with the guys. We're gonna put the deep well right here. And then we're gonna put the little house right here. So then they can see who's in the farm, and hopefully they can see who's stealing what when they sleep here. So let's take a look at the equipment.
The equipment consists of a 3 horsepower gas water pump. And what they do is they make a shallow hole where the intake of the pump draws water in and then goes up the hose to this metal rod. This is hollow, and it shoots the water through it, and then it uses the water pressure that comes out to basically dig through the ground. Wasn't too enthused about how strong this was gonna be, but I figured we're here, we need water, we'll go and try it out. So right now the guys are gonna go down by the river that runs along the side of the road and in my backyard or back of the property, where they're gonna get water to fill that big drum that they're gonna use to circulate the water through this gas pump and hopefully drill a hole using water pressure into the ground, where they're gonna sink this PVC plastic pipe down until they're able to hit water. So they're cleaning this area right here, and they're gonna do the first attempt at this site location. Over there, Ethan is now leaving to get water from the river.
We're gonna go get water.
And this was the difficulty in getting the water into this property. That's why the first thing that I wanted to do was to get a well or get water into the property.
That pipe. See if they could find water, and then hopefully 2 Bex, gaano ka haba yan? 20 feet? 20 feet? Ilan? Dalawa? Tatlo? isang kalahati. Hopefully we'll find water.
The plan is to sink 20-foot sections of this blue PVC pipe so that we can get about 30 to 40 feet and hopefully be able to now hit water. Where I am, it's very high, and I think the water table is much lower than the other properties because I'm a little bit higher up by about 20 feet than most of the properties that surround me. Everything is a learning lesson when you go to the Philippines and try to start something from the ground up, and this is just another learning lesson for me, and I hope that you can also watch and learn how this type of well is drilled for. I'm not gonna cut and I'm not gonna speed up the video because it is very interesting to watch and learn, especially how the Filipinos adapt so well on the field using only the primitive tools that they have. It's quite interesting to see, you know, how they go about doing their work with the basic tools that are given to them. So please watch and enjoy as we learn how to prepare the PVC pipe for the well digging or well boring, actually, at the site. Here, Roel is cutting sections of the tip of the PVC pipe, which he will then turn into the first sleeve that he'll bury into the ground after he burrows the metal bit about 20 feet. So this will be the actual tip that will go all the way down to the water. So what he's doing is he's cutting the tips off so that he can later melt the tip of this tube to make almost like a sharpened spear. That's the best way I could describe it. Here he is taking the hacksaw and drawing small slits all along the side of the tube so that the water, once we hit it, can come in and be drawn in from these smaller slits that he's doing. It was fascinating to watch him make this particular modification to the PVC pipe.
Dapat talaga nandyan. Kaya pag nagmanok ako dyan, ikaw ang bisor.
Papatiklopin yung ganyan, no? Para hindi anuhin ng tubig, anang kasukin ng baybay. Dilat.
The boys are telling him that the PVC is cooked now and he should lick it to see if it's good and ready to eat.
Parang may galit ka sa akin, ginawa mong kalsuhan yung pako. Tubig.
Sinabing mainit-init pa.
Wala yung sinabi nung nagluluto pa ako ng espalto. Hindi mo man matikman, hindi mo masabi kung luto na o hindi. Kulo lang ng kulo.
Pwede mong tekman yan.
Tubig.
Kakahingal talaga. Kaya 6 na balik lang yan, oh.
Pula-pula ba kasi Kuya Bibot? Ay, nagluluto ako ng espalto. Putang yan, basta tigatong ko lalaking gatong ay. Titiyan mo lang. Kung luto na, tutupahan mo ng laway. Ay, pag nasusura ko doon sa isang paraluto, ang ginagawa ko, nilalagyan ko ng bato. Kahit kagaganto lang kalaking bato. Hindi na ako, pero nagang sirit yan. Nagang, alam na pa agad. Alam, wala tayo.
Para itong hindi pumasok yung buhangin. We're putting the screen on so that the mosquitoes don't get in. Sorry, they're putting the screen on so the sand doesn't get in. Ano Roel, ikaw ang bida sa YouTube. Bibigay ko sa iyo yung channel.
Baka, katulad yan ron. Pinag-English niya baka. English speaking pati. English Carabao.
Oh, see.
After the slits were cut in, they used a netting, plastic netting, which was tied tightly around the slits of this first PVC pipe that will go into the water. The design for the plastic netting is so that once they get into the water, the sand that surrounds the tip of this PVC pipe won't get into the pipe as you're pumping the water up. To hold the netting in place tightly around the PVC pipe, it is wrapped tightly by thick fishing wire.
Grabe pa lingatong. Daming lingatong dun oh. Ano yung puro lingatong yan dati?
Gubat ito noon.